Hello, this is Steve Sanangelo of the SRSRockReport.com website and YouTube channel. And today I've got a new video update on why I believe silver investing will be a better performing asset than gold going forward. Now, I do have a few silver price charts in this video because we had nice moves in the precious metals. Silver was up more than 50 cents today, but I've also included in the video some fundamental charts on silver and why I believe these fundamental charts are much more bullish and positive for silver than gold in the future. But before I get going, I just want to thank everyone. The SRS Rock Report YouTube channel now has over 10,000 subscribers. I believe it's more than 10,200. So if you have not yet subscribed, please consider doing so. I also wanted to bring your attention before I get going that I publish important energy, especially oil videos on my YouTube channel. And it's important that you understand energy because energy is the key factor that drives the economy and asset values. And unfortunately, a still large percentage of my precious metal followers still don't look at my energy work. And what's interesting, the energy people that I talk to, they don't care about precious metals. And what's worse than that, the financial guys, they could care less about energy or precious metals. So they're completely clueless. But please, if you have a chance, check out my newest video, Shale Oil Next Victims and Major Oil Companies. Also, last year I came out with the U.S. Shale Ponzi Scheme explained. It's important you understand what's going on there. And the reason for that has to do with this chart. Energy is propping up these overvalued or bubble assets. And when energy becomes problematic, then we're going to see a collapse in value of these assets. And so this chart here is from Savalas World Reserve. It was as of December 17th. They have not done an update. But since then, the real estate values in the world are 281 trillion. The securitized debt is 105 trillion. And now nearly 20 trillion of that securitized debt has a negative yield. And then we have 83 trillion in the equities stock market. And I just updated this figure to include the prices recently of gold and silver. But even with much higher prices recently, all the gold investment and silver investment that you can get your hands on, that's also central banks, public and private, it's 3.7 trillion. So if we divide the 3.7 trillion into the 469 trillion of total assets, it's less than 1%. So what happens when the 99% of investors who are invested here start to get really worried of the market and 1% moves in here? I mean, we could see much, much higher precious metal prices. So please check out my energy articles because they're very important to show what's going to happen to these asset prices in the future. Okay, let's get started. I wanted to show you the first chart is the SLV. This is not the silver price. This is the SLV. What's important here is that, again, we're seeing a record number of shares traded. Just about 440 million shares have already traded in August. We see a nice move up here. The SLV closed at 1703. We have to go back all the way to 2012, even in 2011 to see a higher amount. I do believe if the SLV continues to go up in the next 3 days, we could probably reach close to 500 million shares. I'd say 85 million to 500 million shares. But if this SLV continues to move higher, I do believe this is where it could hit its first resistance level. Because we have to remember when silver moved up, the SLV moved up in 2016, it shot up here in April, then it sold off in May before going up. And it kind of needs to do that. It needs a correction. So we shouldn't be surprised to see if that happens. But I do want to show you some fundamental charts now. And this is the global gold and silver production chart from 2008 to forecasted 2019. Silver is in the blue bars. We could see here in this red bar, this is when silver production peaked at 894 million ounces, according to the World Silver Surveys. And it's been falling ever since, slowly. And according to my estimate, I believe it will fall again to about 850 million ounces. And this is due to production declines in Mexico, Peru, and Chile. but it could be less. It could actually be 845 million ounces. But if you look at the gold since 2015, gold production has continued to increase. And according to SP Global Markets, they estimate the world gold production in 2019 will reach 110 million ounces. Now, so since 2015, silver production is down 5% and gold is up 6%. Now, moving forward, I do believe when this recession hits, we're going to see a cutback in global base metal mining. And almost 60% of base metal mining, which is copper, zinc, and lead, is a byproduct of silver. So 60+% of silver production comes from base metal mining. So when that starts to decline, we're going to see much less silver production compared to gold. So that to me is going to be very bullish for silver in the future. Now I've got a couple of charts here in order. I want to start to show you the change in government gold versus silver holdings, 2005 to 2018. This is the first chart. This is using the World Silver Survey information and World Gold Council. As of 2005, the official holdings of the central banks was about 998 million ounces of gold and 317 million ounces of silver. And most of that silver was held in China, Russia, and India. Now, at the time, that gold value was worth 444 billion and silver 2.3 billion. Now, from 1999 to 2013, it also happened with gold, but a lot more with the silver. The net government silver sales, and again, this was mostly Russia, China, and India, was sold 774 million ounces into the market. And as we can see, in the past 5 years, there hasn't been any more silver sales by governments. They've kind of been tapped out. However, there's still a lot more gold. And let's look at the next chart. The next chart shows the government gold and silver holdings as of 2018. And according to the World Gold Council, the central banks have 1,036 million ounces, a little more than a billion. And that gold value at the present price of gold is worth 1.58 trillion, almost 4 times what it was in 2005. But look at the silver. Silver was 317 million. Now there's only 89 million ounces held by government holdings, and it's only worth 1.6 billion. So if governments need to start acquiring silver, they have to go into the market, and now they become a buyer. So this is another bullish sign for silver in the future. And I wanted to show you, this is a total US gold and silver eagle sales from 1986 to 2019. Now, there's a few things we can talk about quickly here. Even though the demand for silver eagles has fallen considerably since 2017, I believe 2019 is going to be at the same or even higher than 2018, about 16, 17 million ounces. Even though it's much less than it was in these years, it's still a great deal higher than it was before the 2008 financial crisis. So again, even though retail investment demand for silver eagles has fallen compared to these years, it's still much higher than it was before the financial crisis. And so I do believe moving forward, when we start seeing more chaos in the markets, retail demand for gold and silver eagles will start going back up and actually surpass this. Now, I believe this could be one of the most bullish factors for silver going forward. And according to the World Gold Council and the World Silver Surveys, there is about 2.4 billion ounces of gold held in physical investment, public and private, as well as central bank holdings. There's 2.45 billion ounces of silver. So we can see there's not that much more. Now, yes, we don't know how much silver eagles are held or how much silver is held in private hands, in safes at homes. We have no idea. The same thing with gold, but these are identifiable gold and silver stocks in the world. And right now, there is about the same amount of silver as there is gold. Here's the interesting thing. All that gold value is 3.65 trillion compared to 45 billion for the silver. So even though there could be a lot more silver in the world, jewelry silver or silver bars and coins that's held privately we don't know about, let's move it up to 5 billion. That just doubles this to 100 billion maybe. And if we even go to 10 billion ounces, which I don't think there's that much investment silver out there. Even that, there's only $200 billion. It's still a fraction compared to gold. So when investors start trying to access physical silver, there just is not that much silver as there is gold. Now, I did want to show you a few price charts, and I'll tell you why this is interesting. Now, I did this chart on August. My last update, it was based on August 16th, and I said if silver continues to break out above 1725, it will likely head to 1850 quite quickly. However, a major bull market is still above the 2150 level. Okay, let's look at the monthly chart of silver as of close today. Silver closed at $18.15. So silver broke above that 1725 level and has jumped up more than nearly $1. Now this first resistance level will be right here at this 1850. And again, this is what traders are looking at. So I'm just telling you what to expect on a paper price market. So silver, if silver continues higher, and I believe it will this week, it'll probably come up and it could go higher, but I do believe it'll probably start getting some resistance at 1850 and start to correct before moving up, just like it did here. Silver shot up, we saw a correction, and then it moved up again. Now, people say, well, Steve, you shouldn't, I see comments on my YouTube channel and elsewhere. Oh, technical analysis is worthless in a rig market. Well, I don't think anybody was complaining when silver went to $50. So silver shot up, and there was a reason for that. Silver remained under this $14 level since 1983. Once it broke above it, it shot up to the 2150 level. Sold off during that financial crisis and the stock market crash. And then when it went back above that 21 level, we see another breakout. These are breakouts. Now, I put this chart out on July 12th, 2 months ago. I'm sorry, 1 month ago. And here we could see this important symmetrical triangle. Silver was trading and getting coiling in it. And I knew it was going to move up above it because gold did. And here we can see that's exactly what happened. Silver broke out of this symmetrical triangle, and now it is trying to come up to this first 1850 level. But again, this next level 1850 isn't a major resistance. It'll probably tap on there, correct. When it continues higher, its next major resistance level will be this 2150. Once silver breaks above that 2150, then it's off to the races. Now, if we look at a weekly chart, it gives us a little better idea about this 1850 level. Here we can see 1850 hits it several times. So silver is now becoming overbought. It'll probably come up and test this 18.5 level in the next few days, but we shouldn't be surprised if silver starts to correct because it is overbought, just like it did here. It corrected down before it moved up. So I do believe 1850 is the next level. If we start seeing resistance there, then the silver price will probably have a correction before moving higher. Now, I want to conclude by saying I do believe the number one factor for silver is going to be that there just isn't that much silver as people think in investment stocks in the world. Yes, we could see if the price of silver moves up, moves to 50 and 100, people will sell silver, they'll sell silverware, and they'll sell jewelry. But unfortunately, a lot of people don't really care about selling silver jewelry because it's just not worth it to take a few rings and get $50 for it. A gold ring, you could get 500, 1,000. It's worth your time. But this is going to be a major factor in the future. I'm not talking today or tomorrow. In the next several years and forward, there just isn't that much silver. So this is going to lower the gold-silver ratio, and we're going to see much better performance with silver than gold. In conclusion, we had a very interesting day today in the precious metals. The market sold off again today. The precious metals shot up. And we're seeing more volatility in the currency markets. And I do believe as time goes on, there's going to be more fear entering the markets, and we're going to see more investors move into gold and silver, especially silver. Well, thank you very much, and I appreciate you watching this SRS Rock Report YouTube channel video, and please consider subscribing to the SRS Rock Report YouTube channel. Thank you very much.